ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another fantastic weekend of Formula 1 racing here on the EGL Extreme Gaming League. I'm Tipsy Bob, and joining me on the mic is my trusty sidekick and my good friend, Advance. Covering all the action today, we're going to be covering everywhere from Monaco, Singapore, Abu Dhabi, and Bahrain, all across the world, all across the country. Full grid lined up some of the best talent around the world. We have plucked them from all corners of the earth to give you some of the greatest racing experience viewing footage you'll ever see in your lifetime. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the EGL. There we go. All the cars are all lining up on the grid. They're all getting ready. The drivers will be focusing on their first corner. Are they going to take it? What are they going to do? Is it going to go deep? Are they going to go? Who knows? Let's take out the way we go! DRS is still active, and if Timo wants to get this moved on, he's gonna need to use this DRS zone because I have a feeling. Oh no, Timo cancel the pressure in the traction zone. The Prix to mount up another overtake on 1P3 straight mark. This is right straight to the mark. Timo cracks under the pressure once again.
And Timo are oh, it's not pit. Oh no! Oh my god, this so sorry, control myself. So Timo
I wouldn't be going to penalty too, so they can stand at the back together again, just like Timo likes it.
How many times? Did you see how many times Timo tried to get into the pit?
There's a lot less grip, meaning less traction and more careful. So, these are all factors that are going to play into this, and let's hope we're on for an exciting race as we see the lights coming on. And so, 5 red lights, and we go green in Mexico, and it looks like a good start from Danico. No, he goes to the side. I think Wow got actually a really good start compared to Julian. Wow's already ahead of him, so Triton up into P3. Danny actually had a horrid start, never mind that. He's dropping down the order. Jensen is already showing his nose on the inside for P3. Julian breaks really late into turn 1, and he actually regains the lead through that maneuver, and he's still clashing with Wow. Jensen got a good start. Julian preserves his lead after being down the order a little bit. Gary slipped up the order a little bit, and Danny and Triton fighting for P5. Didn't have the optimal starts, the two of them, Gary and Jensen, for profiting. I think we just swapped around.
And Pretorius trying to get past Triton now as well. And then that means Icewind's going to have a look around the outside of Pretorius. The Mercedes looking to be on the offensive at the start of this race, but Icewind gets that move done. The next car in his sights is Triton, but the next car in the mirrors of Pretorius is Light Cruiser. He's been losing positions. He started 11th up to 8th, a good start from Pretorius, but he's looking to struggle in these early laps and get used to these conditions. Moves we've got further up the field. Have we got Danico on Gary is coming close, and Gary goes wide. Gary has gone wide at the exit of the turn, and Danny, is he going to make the move that Valtteri sorry, it was Verstappen, wasn't
Oh,
it?
collision
And we have
between-
virtual safety car.
We've seen there's a collision between Astro and Tipsy, and that has given them penalties. They're both lacking front wing, so that's not going to be able to be taken.
Looking to go into battle into turn 1. NJJ gets past Max, but will Max stick his nose in there? No, he won't. Popo. Yeah, Popo's the one who sticks his nose in. He's coming through turn 2 now. Goes around the outside of Max. It's a brilliant move from Popo there. But I think that move is conceded unless Max is going to get a good slipstream, and I don't think he's close enough.
Flag racing. At the end of this lap, Light Cruiser will lead the restart, and he will lead the pack on the start-finish straight. I don't think his strategy was right, but oh god, don't go into the traffic! He spins on restart! I think he's
Did he just spin on his own?
Yes, he did!
He's forced to go into the pit lane now because of where he spun. Well, I think it was a good idea anyway, but still, he shouldn't be spinning on the restart. Yeah, I didn't see that.
I was gonna say, I don't think his strategy call is right. Max is not happy with that. He looks to the inside and he wants to get that position back. Astro's bumped him, and they come together again. And for some reason, he doesn't spin. Jensen wants to get past it. This is he has to be very patient. He runs off track. Tipsy has retired, and Jensen's got Max Bultz cleared. And now Wow has Toro Rosso car between himself and Jensen. Someone he has similar pace to. Nice move from Wow into this tight twisty section, and he's got that done around the outside, but they get caught up here, and it's almost drama here, but everything goes fine. Wow has just lost a second to Jensen, but I'm sure he can close that up as soon as Jensen reaches us.
I just had flashback.
Oh, we're gonna see a move into turn 1 from Astro Boys, and I think this time he's waited for a good opportunity. Jensen shows his nose, but he can't do anything. There's a little bit of a touch between them, and Bascadinius sticks his nose in and almost spins Astro Boys.
Yes, Jensen's got prime opportunity now to get past Bascadinho. He opts for the outside. He's going to go for Astro as well.
Oh, really deep into that corner.
Oh, just about.
That's where he stays. It's a good move from him. He's pulled that off really well, and
Astro back into the point, starting in turn 3. He has to cut the corner, and now Popo's got the run on in. Better traction since he was on the track and not on the grass, and he's looking to go around the outside. Looks to be an easy move. Yeah, he's done it before the braking
side
zone.
by side into the next braking zone. Last time Astro won that, and this time he does again. Or it's Wow actually gets the cutback, and he's now on the inside, which will be the inside again for the double right hand. I doubt that Astro is going to carry the momentum here, but he still keeps it up, so we're still running side by side. We've been for an entire sector, but surely now Astro needs... Oh, Astro sticks his nose in, but doesn't spin. P7 players. Icewind on Price Evolution, and there's contact! Icewind is getting shoved towards the edge of the track. Light Cruiser and Astro Boys, Pretorius wants a piece of the cake.
That was Light Cruiser. He went in the middle of Icewind and Price and like squeezed them together. Icewind's gonna get back though, but that was nearly a race-ending moment for all 3 cars involved. Keep finding each other on track, don't they? Yeah. No matter what happens. Light Cruiser and Bryce going side by side. Yeah. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Is Bryce gonna keep? Here, Pretorius is hanging back, watching this unfold. Light Cruiser keeps the position with some nice braking. Really turn 1, Bryce on Max. He's gonna try and stick his nose in there. Max goes wide, and wow!
Wow, with an absolute send there, and I think that was obviously contact, but I don't think
this is playing into the hands of Ocean Chief because he has no penalties, and meanwhile they're losing time. Look, Jensen on trying it on Fox as well, and Ocean. No, Jensen nearly spins there.
Penalty. Well,
yeah, Julian has won.
Yeah, Julian has won, and he's picked the entire losing places to penalties.
Dave Popo starting P10 up to P3.
I think I agree there.
I mean, it's so easy to say Julian because he was so dominant, but
yeah, I mean
we see this every week.
and welcome to the United States Grand Prix in Austin for SLR. The Coda Stadium features long flowing bends and fast straights on this 3.4 mile circuit. It's a tough circuit on brakes and indeed as well on your tyres. The best overtaking zones are turn 1 up the hill and the long back straight DRS Open at turn 12. Let's have a hot lap on board the Red Bull with Vinny. Yes indeed, here we are on board the Red Bull with SLR driver Vinny as he's starting a lap off Austin. So running up the hill for turn 1, just at the black box on the brakes and then late apex. It's an off camber exit, so it's important to watch the traction coming off that corner. This next section is very much like Maggots and Beckett. You want to use the curb for all of these corners. Let the car slow down as you go along, and then the late apex here on the throttle again keeps the flow nice and going, and then not too tight on this curb, but then on this one you want to use a little bit of curb and then run out wide again using a little bit of curb, not too much of course, or you will invalidate the lap. Just before the 50 meter board on the brakes again. Getting a good exit is vital for this back straight. This is the main DRS section of Austin, the prime location for planning your attack. So just before the 50 meter boards, roughly around about 70 meter boards on the brakes, you want to kind of high speed into this corner, and then early on the power you get a good traction. And this is the traction zone section of the track. It's a very tricky section, it's easy to spin, and then again out nice and wide, and then dropping down in the first gear some guys to take that corner, and then on the power again, full attack, no lifting here, just hold that car, feel the G-force of the car. Just in the black box here on the right, little dab of the brakes, then cut in, not too tight, but then don't run it wide either, you'll invalidate it. Almost over, black box again, dab on the brakes, bring it around, not running too wide, and that completes the lap of the American Grand Prix. Hello and welcome to the United States Grand Prix in Austin for SLR. The Coda Stadium.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have 3 rounds to go, but the excitement still is very much there, and this round tonight will be USA SLR Tier 1. I think it's round 19, and we are at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, with 18 drivers and 1 co-commentator, and that is Joel. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, I am doing good. So, looking forward to this race actually, because the championship might be decided, although it's quite unlikely. So there are some scenarios that Julian could win the championship.
Yeah, now that you actually mentioned it, I was gonna use that later on, but got a nice little graphic. So this is the first, well, match point, you could call it, of the championship, and maybe we can answer the question who is going to be the Season 4 champion in SLR Tier 1 tonight. But it's looking unlikely, as you can see. If Julian wins, and he needs to win if he wants to have a chance at closing it, then Copy needs to finish P9 or lower for Julian to be champion, or if Julian gets the fastest lap and wins, then Copy needs to finish P8. Not the likeliest scenario, considering Copy's consistency, but with the retirement, definitely possible. Maybe with some crashes, I don't know. We've seen championship dreams shattered at Kota before. So, anyways, here we are, and it is quali time, and as basically always, every single week, I am wondering, why is there people on hards? It doesn't make much sense. This track is an easy soft medium, as the McLarens collide?
Yeah, but they were giving each other slipstream on the back straight, but then they just went side by side into turn 1, not turn 1, into the hairpin, which is very bizarre.
amazing side-by-side timing driving. Well, so Triton's put in a 31.8, and that's already really good enough. I expect the pole to be like low 31, maybe even like maybe some madman can put in a 30.9 or something. But
yeah, I think that's more than possible.
it is possible, but it's going to be. I mean, it has to be an absolutely amazing. Like, we've got a comeback of a name we haven't heard here in quite a while, and that is Jason. The German driver is driven in Season 1, I believe. Well, he's definitely driven in Season 1. The association most drivers who've been around since then is probably that amazing moment at the Hungaroring in Season 1, where he and the two Ferraris of Triton and Banz came together with him, and it threw both of the Ferraris out of the race. So that was fun. But after that, he had a good redemption drive in Spa and finished the season with some good pace. And now, after some time of absence and apparently driving an SLR, as his Steam name indicates, amazing camera angle, he is back, and he's going to drive at least this race, maybe the other two remaining in the season as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's doing.
Yeah, Icewind's setting the pace early on, but these are just the opening runs. Copy going 0.2 quicker than Icewind there, 31.5. Yeah, but it's quite a flowing track. If you get into the rhythm, you can enjoy it. But I know some drivers don't like it, just because, well, probably because it's like been made to be a good track, as in it's just mushed together bits of different circuits.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, it's one of the tracks I change my opinion about every time I race it, but like generally I like tracks that have some flow to them, and this track is kind of weird because of Sector 1 flows really well, Sector 2 is just like standard, and then Sector 3 is like completely counterproductive. So like for 1/3 of the lap I'm absolutely enjoying myself, and in 1/3 of the lap I just really want this to end because Sector 3 isn't that much fun. Even though, I mean, the sweeping, to be fair, maybe that's a little much. I think the section Copy's driving in right now, that's just a pain. These 3 corners, and then the very long right-hander that has been, that could also be a Turkey Grand Prix track Mirror Cup or something, is pretty enjoyable as well. I don't know, I like the circuit, but the penalties are annoying, and that's, I understand why you would dislike it. I just don't. I like it. It's a good track. Also overtaking.
Pit lanes getting rather busy as people are coming in and out for their second runs, so we can see you can put it on top after this one. Triton continuing from last week with a good performance so far, up there in P3.
NGJ drives into the pits. I expect that, Bascadinha is potentially the only person on a proper outlap. I think everyone else on the lap is driving into the pits or just on their outlap. So he's going to try and attack this first sector as much as he can. I'm sure there was a little bit of time on the table there, but all in all, pretty solid. Gets very close to the track limits without actually going beyond them, which is exactly what you're aiming for here. You can actually go off track, even though that was a bit much, and the fact that it was on the grass certainly didn't help him carry any more speed. So into this, not really hairpin, but very tight left hand onto the main straight. Bascadinha. I wonder where he's gonna end up. He's invalidated his first run. It was that weird occurrence where he met Light Cruise on track and they had a little moment. Anyway, so Sector 2 is about to be over. It's 1 minute 3 something, and I think that's not good, unfortunately, because I believe I remember myself doing having 1 minute 1 second 0.9 or something, and those weren't amazing enough. So I think he is probably gonna put himself around like P10, 33s. I'm sure he can improve on that though. So we're gonna see as he goes through the last corner and he spins over the line. Well, so we're not even gonna find out if I was right. Because that lap was over and that car is broken. Or at least the front wing.
Yeah. The next one to cross the line, I believe, will be Triton.
Yeah, isn't that
He's just
looking
started
good?
his second lap. Yeah, it is. He was up by 3/10 as he came through the first sector. Let's see what it'll be when he comes through this hairpin and then the second sector split awaits before the next right-hander goes a little bit wide there. Yeah, but you want to be... Oh, okay, he's up on his time, and I think he's just lost it all there now.
I think he's,
So I think he'll be... Yeah, I don't think he'll be improving on this lap unless he can have a brilliant final sector. But on what I was saying, you want to use high ERS in the start of the third sector, because otherwise you will not make it to the end on overtake or hot lap. Yeah, so he's backed off there, he's going to come into the pits.
Well, I use high in the first sector, so I make it...
Yes,
constantly.
okay.
I think high in the first sector makes more sense because the thing that limits your speed through the S's isn't certainly not engine power, it is downforce, so turning the engine power a little down to harvest more energy, in my opinion, makes a lot of sense. Also, I mean, going faster through there just heats your tires even more. You can see Iceman is doing that. He is running engine mode 5 now, but he was in Prix. Anyways, he's cut the corner, so not going to be an improvement from him on this lap, and Copy stays on top for the moment.
Yeah, wow, invalidated his lap. He did improve by 1 second, but that might have been because of the invalidation, I assume. So,
if we can put that together, that's going to be an amazing run.
Yeah,
So Julian,
yeah.
Julian, we know he's an IndyCar fan. He's shown us in the second to last corner he's going to come across the line. 32, 5 turns into 32, 1 is exactly 3 turns up on his time, and I don't know what's going on. I'm sure he can go quicker than that.
Danny improved by 3/10, but invalidated. And apparently, your volume is a bit low. Just
that is
for you.
amazing because I'm like technically already swallowing my microphone. Well, I can't help that. I'm sorry. I can put it even closer, but I think that's...
What is Mr. Julian doing?
Not
That was very weird.
being as quick as he probably wants to be. That's my guess. Well, I think Ocean Chief is gonna come across here. Where is he? Oh, never mind. That was Iceman I saw on the map, but Ocean Chief is actually up by a second, which you would expect. Copy improves on his time, so it's a 31.4. He's setting the pace here. He does what he needs to do if he wants to keep his championship hope alive, and comes... yeah, Ocean Chief comes across a 33.5. And that's basically on par with Bans, but
NJJ crossed the line.
I think
Goes
Bans
to
is
10th.
invalidated. Yeah, he has.
Yes, he has. Oh, you're not getting the red map again if he invalidates.
Yeah, I never get that for some reason. That's amazing. Looking at these times makes me think I should drive in Tier 1. That was very arrogant. Oh no.
He's gonna commentate. I mean, I can't deal with all this on my own.
I forgot that I was still on my TeamSpeak, so someone just joined and said hello.
Oh.
I had to panic mute while I'm gonna close that. Oh god. There were people in here all the time, and they could hear me. Oh god. Why didn't they well, that's amazing. Cool. So... I am professionalism compressed into the body of a human. That's me. Justin's doing really well without assists. 32.1. That is pretty good time.
This is Triton. Oh, Triton span. He was up by 5/10
You can tell
in the first sector, and he span.
You can tell he's a Vettel fan just from that. Anyways, but suspension didn't break, so I'm afraid we can't blame him. We can blame him, but we can't blame Vettel.
He was up by 5/10. If he got that up, it would have been pole. I mean, 5/10 even in the first sector.
He's doing.
So surely he's got more in the lap to find.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be incredibly frustrating. I know, thank you, Pixel. It is going to be incredibly frustrating should he fail to put that lap in, because apparently his second and third sector must have been absolutely brilliant compared to anyone else's, and it's just the first sector he fails in. Maybe can you compare sector times? I want to know how much he's losing in the first sector.
Sorry, Triton to who?
Copy, for example.
Okay. So how much he lost on his first lap? We'll have a look. So let's say Copy in the first sector did a 24.7. And Triton did a 24.5.
That's not too bad, and he's still got half a second in there. What
Yeah,
is going
I
on?
mean, it may be his the setup differences. If he's running higher downforce, then that's going to be a sector where he can make up his time. Looking at the other sectors, he's got 36.8, and Copy has a 36.7, and then in the final sector he's got a 30.0, and Copy has a 29.8. So he's losing the times in the second and third sector,
Yeah,
which may suggest like a high downforce setup.
Yeah, but I mean, he's losing time in Sector 3, and that is very much also a downforce. Well, it's less downforce, it's more mechanical grip as it's slower corners. The downforce section is definitely Sector 1.
It's so easy to invalidate here as well, so if you just push the limits a little too much, then you're going to lose all the time that you've gained during the lap.
It is a tough track to hook up. I mean, every sector demands something else from you. First sector demands nice camera shot. It demands precision on the track limits and like very fast corners. Then sector 2 is demanding a good exit from you and good control in the car in the two very heavy braking zones and getting like proper launches out of them. And then sector 3 is more about finding your way through the slow corners, and then in the end also not abandoning those corners. So it's like it's a very challenging track, and you need to you need to nail everything on one lap if you want a really good time. And so far Triton has well, his time is really good, but he could extract more, and he's failed to put it together, and maybe he can actually challenge for the front row.
Icewind is going to be the first of the front runners to complete their final lap. He's up by 4/10 in the first sector, so there's definitely time for these drivers to find, and I think the times will be getting a lot lower as we come to the end of the session. Julian down in P7, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should watch Julian, because he's currently the championship leader, and it is going to be really important for him to score well today if he wants to have a good shot at winning already next week. I mean,
Is he backed off there? He's backed off.
He's backed off, so it's going to be on the next lap. So back to
So it's Icewind, yeah.
That cruiser retires, so he's going to stay in P13 at 7 points. And Icewind doesn't extend enough for an invalidation, I don't think so. So goes to the final corner, was maybe a little bit of room on the inside, but it is still enough for a provisional pole. 31.4 from Icewind, good time. Triton is in the first sector,
Yeah.
and he's
I think he's lost his time there.
Yeah, that was like at least 1 or 2 tenths he lost there. I'm sure he's still gonna be up, but that will probably have been his podium or his pole challenge over. Well, so he comes onto the main straight. Let's see who else is on a lap. Fox is. Julian is not yet.
Copy just improved by 1/10. But he's going to go for another one.
I don't think he did. He was doing 0.4. He was in a 0.4 before that.
Okay, my game must be bugged slightly then.
Oh, my memory is bugged. That's also possible. I don't trust it. Well,
Triton's down on his time slightly.
Yeah, so he's gonna kick himself. That was, if you put his optimals together, would have been really good. Anyway, so Pretorius with an absolute banger time, 31.5, showing.
Yeah, Danny's up by 3/10 in the first sector also. Triton comes into the pits. Okay. Copy's up by 3/10.
Copy up by 3/10, so that's really gonna be a challenge on Iceland as Julian makes a mistake on his hot lap, and it looks like he hasn't backed off yet, quite yet, but he has been on the grass on that lap, so if he wants to start further ahead, he needs to put this together now. It is really crucial for him. What are the others doing?
Dan 3/10, Wow up by 1/10. Wow's going to be the first to cross the line. Let's see where he can put his Renault car as he comes through the final corner. The line comes up very quick. Can he improve?
And he can, and it is 30.9. Incredible Icewind.
Now it's Copy. It's Copy now. Coming across the line. What's he going to do? He's a 31.3. Can't quite match him. Now Danny. What can he do? He goes third. He had some bit of a slide out of the final corner. And I think that cost him.
And Julian goes for a spin. So that is P8 in qualifying for the championship leader. And it is a hill to climb if he wants to close the championship today. I'm sure it's not what he has set his focus on for today. He just wants to... I mean, he just needs to keep Copy from gaining points on him. And then he'll get a really good match point. Or, yeah... match point next week in Brazil, but I mean, he is at the back foot now, and
Julian didn't even get into the 31s.
Yeah, makes one think, doesn't it?
No, I'm going into the 31s. I'm a bit scared, to be honest.
Yes.
Something's definitely up with Julian.
Something's wrong. I can feel it. Well, yeah, I think he just made mistakes on all of his laps. That's probably not good. Or he hasn't practiced a lot. We don't know.
He said earlier in the chat, I wished I practiced at least once. So this is playing wonderfully into the hands of Copy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's what you get for not practicing. Being on the pace of Timo and Joel.
Yes.
The two guys who should probably stop in the reporting stay in the reporting staff. No offense, but so yeah, really good time from Wow, and I wonder how he's gonna convert that into pace in the race. It's gonna be interesting to see. Actually,
Julian trying to be all smug here.
What did he say?
Saying, I've got 34 points advantage, I don't really care.
He doesn't have
34. I'm sure he does care.
I don't
31 he said, sorry, 31.
That's alright.
It is 31. Because the gap has to be 53 after this race. Which means he has to outscore him by 22 points.
Right, okay.
So it's a full dry race. Strategies, I'd assume everyone would just go soft to medium in the top 10. Maybe a few might pit early and go soft to hard.
I don't think it's worth it. Well, I mean the hards do have pace. I just I can go off the practice races I've done, and I can go off the actual race I've done. In the actual race, I had some solid pace on the hards, so like it's not that they're incredibly bad. But in one of the practices, the mediums seemed to be like significantly faster than the tire, where it was like only 3 lap advantage or something, which kinda is useless if you have to pit 3 laps earlier. So I don't think hards are necessarily worth it. I'm sure we're gonna see some do it, but that's probably just because the undercut here is really strong. Softs die so quickly. It's one of those tracks where the S's at the start of the lap just absolutely kill your tires, and you get tire temps of like 105 carcasses or upwards, and that's basically where your car starts to understeer like crazy, and it gets really stubborn when you want it to turn in. So you need to pay attention there. Worn tires are not a help here. Undercut is massive, and I expect maybe people to come in at like lap 6 or 7 maybe at its earliest, even though there is like though there is tire percentage technique, like from that side of things, not the optimum. But just just for the race position and for the undercut, I think people are gonna do it. 6
so only 3 people are starting on medium. So it's Ocean, Light Cruiser, and Bounce are the only ones.
Yeah, I think it's good to do that. Or like, okay, but it's kinda it's just a strategy that I wouldn't do because it falls flat as soon as there's a safety car. And You can... Harjol, what's the matter? What are you thinking?
I started on mediums and then everyone pitted ahead of me when the safety car came out. I stayed out because there's no point pitting. I got to P3 and then I damaged my wing and had to pit anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just to get that out there, I was on mediums on lap 1 because I pitted, and then my strategy was bad, but then I got crashed out, so it didn't matter. I can't tell you if it would have worked to drag them to the end, which is actually unfortunate. I was going for it, but I had to pit again for some ominous reason. I think you can probably make the end, but you're gonna end up at like 75% tires, and in the past races we've seen some tire wear panic for some drivers, but now it is starting time, and we go green in Coda, and it looks like it is a good getaway from Copy as he already gets himself alongside Wow. He wants to take that lead into turn 1, and Wow is gonna close in on him, and that leaves the door open for Danny to slip through. I think the racing point of Julian is going through reasonably well. He's in P7, goes off track a little bit, but he has survived the starting phase, which is important, crucial for him. Wow keeps his P2. He didn't lose out to Danny Coe in the end, and Wow already has got himself almost a second of a gap. Julian with a optimistic move on Triton.
It's a massive dive.
Gets himself into P6, so he is absolutely fighting with the knife between his teeth, and now it's Price Evolution going down the inside on NJJ and Justin, I think, and it looks like he's made it sick. I think that was a double overtake. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was. And so they file in very close then. Wow, Copy, Danny, NJJ and Bryce are still going to go side by side into turn 1. But Bryce backs out of that one. What's happening further back? It's the Renault of Tipsy Bob going up the inside of Iason. And you'll have the 2 McLarens just behind them looking to... oh, there's a bit of lag there. And it means Light Cruiser was side by side with Iason briefly. Tipsy Bob, Justin, NJJ, they're all running very, very close together. But Wow has already nearly a 1 second lead.
He's about to clear them from the DRS, which is important because the DRS here is really strong. Bascadini and Bryce Evolution running side by side through the second to last corner. It looks like Bascadini's got the move done. Yeah, that's the case. So let's look up front. What's going on here? Really good getaway.
So Julian up to P6 off his start from P8. What's this? Moves into turn 1. Who's that? That's the Renault of Tipsy Bob trying to go down the inside of Justin. Will he get the move done? Looking like Tipsy is really on a mission today to get points. And he's making moves left, right and centre. He's not backing down and he gets that one done as well. Tipsy in the Renault up to P11. Next is NJJ. And there's a bit of a train developing here behind Bryce. All the way down to P18. So the top guys have pulled away. And it's looking like Copy is already out of Wow's DRS.
Yeah, that is... crucial for Wow if he wants to win this race, and Copy really needs to get that race win. It gives you so much more points about
the McLaren's going side by side. Bascadino is going to get the slipstream off the Toro Rosso, so he should be safe into the hairpin. He's going to have a go at Justin actually. Light Cruiser sends it down the inside, slots in the gap, but Bascadino on the soft tyres and Light Cruiser on the mediums. So there's a bit of team orders. Bascadino makes contact there, nearly spans, so he did well to hold that, but both of the McLarens looking to make their way up the field after a disappointing qualifying.
And Julian looks like he's not, like he doesn't have the measure on Pretorius quite yet, but you can see his braking is very aggressive. He knows what he has to do to get past that Mercedes that is in his way for P5. Going to try and get very close to the S's. I expect everyone to turn their ERS down and their fuel down through that section. That is exactly what Julian is doing. You need to keep those tires from dying. He goes over the curbs very well, and he's... I mean, our main focus is going to be to avoid getting penalties and warnings here. And I think you can see that Julian is doing a good job of that. Lap 3, so safety car, exactly. DRS is going to be enabled for the first time after we go through this tight left-hander. And Julian is maybe going to try and attack Pretorius, but also Icewind is reasonably close to Danny Coe, and I'm not sure... No, Danny Coe doesn't have DRS, so Copy looks like he's already clear of P3. Maybe Icewind can do something.
I think Icewind's a bit too far back here. But he's got that DRS as he almost goes into the back of Danny there.
As well to avoid him, NJJ and Bryce Evolution are fighting down the order, and looks like NJJ keeps ahead. But maybe with Bryce Evolution goes for a lunge into that corner, and he's got it done. Maybe Tipsy Bob can slip through. No, he doesn't. Oh, but
On the inside, he maybe does.
Oh, he goes for the switch track and almost spins there. As he gets
that
caught.
was brave.
Yeah, you can't really
Very
complain.
dangerous corner there.
You can't really complain if you're tipsy for almost getting turned. It's ambitious, and you need to know what you're getting yourself into if you decide to that.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I would have done if I saw P10 ahead of me.
I totally would have done that.
Going into turn 1 there, Julian's still close to Pretorius. This train's developing a bit, so it's 2.3 seconds already. Wow. I mean, he's pulling away a lot. Who's that? Tipsy Bob and NJJ going side by side in the S's. Is this going to end well? It might not.
Oh, that's most
Justin can capitalise.
Most certainly a warning for Tipsy, but maybe it is worth it because he gets the move done.
Wow!
And now he's soon to P10, and that was some extraordinary driving, even though it was aided by going off track a little bit. Would have
now Justin's looking at NJJ.
And the two McLarens, Bascadini's dropping down the order! And he's not only dropping down the order, he's also dropped out of the running as he hits the barrier, and he's now at a very bad position. He almost certainly needs a safety car.
Justin, it's going to be Justin, not NJJ, as they come down. Tipsy's at a massive disadvantage. He does not have DRS. They're both going to close on him, and I think Tipsy is just far ahead enough to avoid contact. But who's that as well? That's Triton. Fox got past Triton there. So Triton with a good qualifying. He's down to P8 now. But very eventful this first stint. Tipsy Bob making up so many positions. A dominant fashion. Light Cruiser trying to go around the outside of NJJ there in the long right-hander. He does a switch back. And I think he's going to get that move done as we come into the penultimate corner. He does. And that's spinning! That's NJ!
And yeah, I mean, it's so easy to lose your control over the car there. The curb is very close. Oh, Julian has made a move up. Pretorius! Julian is making his way through the field. He wants to get up to copy, but Pretorius will not give it to him. Okay, he will, actually. That was quite close. And Danico has not been cleared by copy in actuality. Danny is really close to copy again. He has dropped DRS earlier, but he seems to be back in, and he seems to not want to let Championship P2 get away with this.
Yeah, Fox is really close in the back of this train now as well, thanks to Julian and Pretorius battling so hard through the S's.
Yeah, always costs some time.
And this fight for P10 is still going on. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another pass on the back straight, but Pretorius close to Julian. He's not going to be able to make the move. And Fox either, but Julian goes a bit wide there. Pretorius had a little look. Wasn't really good enough of an opportunity. But these drivers will be looking to set themselves up for the next DRS zones. I know it's really difficult to overtake, especially in Tier 1, because all the drivers are so closely matched. So if you can just get that DRS, get a good exit, and try and plan your moves whilst you can. Danny on the back of copy. I don't think he'll be able to get him into turn 1. No, he's too far back.
Yeah, I wonder if Danny will eventually challenge copy for this. It looks like he's got the pace on him right now, but I don't know if that would...
Tipsy and Justin.
Oh, again.
Justin dived. Tipsy's been pushed wide on the outside, but he's keeping his nose in. He just can't quite get the drive off the corner to challenge him.
Yeah, not quite ready for round 2. Jason gets a penalty, and... Oh, what a ascent from Light Cruiser! That was not very nice. Gets himself ahead though, but I imagine Tipsy's not going to be happy with that, as it will demote him 1 position further down the order. So Tipsy drops from P10 to P13 there as a consequence of that, but maybe Light Cruiser will receive some instant karma as he's dived by Jason, who on his comeback does a decent job, and will now try and go for that move. And it looks like he's got it done. DRS, Light Cruiser doesn't have any, and now Tipsy's launching to the inside, and he's got some revenge for Light Cruiser as he makes the way into P12. But Light Cruiser's also not quite done with him yet. He's doing really well considering he's only on mediums compared to everyone else on softs. He's actually the lead medium runner. 2 seconds clear of Bans, who's also on mediums, and a second clear of, or who is the second clear of Ocean Chief, was actually doing really well to hold on to the bucket parts.
Yeah, Tipsy really pulling out all the stocks today. Might see another round into turn 1. Tipsy goes defensive, leaves the door open for Light Cruiser, so he goes very wide! And Tipsy just completely outbreaks himself, so that's... Oh, and now Bance is trying to get up the inside of Tipsy. Tipsy's given that one up, so from hero to zero, really, for Tipsy.
He has tumbled down from P10 to P14 and is now almost at the mercy of his fellow Irishman.
I think Danny might get copy this time. Coming down into the hairpin. Knowing Danny is quite conservative, he might just stay back, and he does. Doesn't want to risk any damage.
Got yellow. Is that Julian? No, it's not, but Julian has still lost the position. I don't know who the yellows are for, but it's not Julian. I had a little bit of a heart attack there for a second. But I think the fact that Julian dropped the position indicates that he made some sort of a significant mistake. Because I think he was well clear. I don't know what happened to him.
Julian looks like he's understeering a lot through the long right-hander. And Danny's in the pits. So Danny's going to try and undercut copy, I would assume.
I think it's the right
and Triton follows.
Lap 7 is definitely possible. I don't think you lose much towards the end of the race. With my tire saving, tire saving, I personally ended up at like I'd say like 60. Yeah, 60, basically exactly at 60 from pitting lap 7, and I'm certainly no tire saving god. Quite the opposite, actually. So if I can do it, the others can as well. And I don't think we fall off the cliff significantly. So the undercut is worth it, in my opinion. Unless he's gonna get held by Ocean Chief here. It's a possibility, though, that he can get some DRS, as his grip will be a lot better than Ocean's through these S's. And maybe Ocean Chief will not be a roadblock and just give him DRS and be fine with being overtaken. So Danny, either this will be a hindrance, or he's just pulled the sneaky on everyone with the DRS. We'll see as we go onto the main straight, and he's right behind the Alpha Romeo.
Pretorius and Julian were going side by side again into the hairpin. It looked quite slow, to be honest. They were both trying to back out.
Jason and Justin's got it done. Ocean Chief and Tipsy are actually trying to position, so Danny will now get himself caught up in that fight. He's picked off the first one, but now he is going to follow Tipsy Bob through the entirety of Sector 3, which, I mean, he's going to hold him up quite significantly, I imagine. So maybe this undercut didn't work out too well. I don't know how quick that outlap was. Pretorius going down the order because he's going into the pits, and he hits Julian on pit entry. But Julian doesn't get a penalty, so it doesn't matter.
So Pretorius is staying out there.
Yeah, Justin to the pits as well. And Danny Coe with his outlap. I wonder where that is going to put him as he comes past everyone, and that is...
he's ahead of everyone.
Yeah,
so he's kept his spot. Copy stayed out. So maybe he might make this work. He's got 1.7 ahead, so he can definitely close the gap.
Yeah, I'm sure he will make this work. Certainly on Copy, probably gonna position himself between the two of them, because I doubt that Copy is able to extract enough pace from these tires to hold up Danny, who's got himself 1 second of free room to work with ahead of himself. I wonder, maybe Vance is even going to get out of his way. Maybe he's going to play the team game. They are both in the Ferrari, so it would be a reasonable thing to do if you're Vance. So that might come in handy. He's certainly going to get DRS, and that is obviously a big advantage in lap time. Copy might have might have outplayed himself by staying out so long, kind of greeting for the tire wear on the mediums. But we'll see. He comes to the final sector.
I mean, Icewind might even undercut Copy. It's not out of the question.
I think that's gonna be close. It depends.
So Wow comes in,
So
and
does
Copy comes in as well.
And now Danny and oh no, Bats is gonna hold up Danny here. So we're actually not gonna pass, even though it doesn't matter too much because that cruiser would still have been in Danny's face. That had not happened. But Danny needs some patience here. And
Gonna be close.
yeah, he's gonna set himself up for an overtake here, I'm sure. But Vance also wants to look at Light Cruiser. But where does he come out in comparison to Copy? I don't see the Williams. The Williams is gone, and he's down to P6. Can Julian get past? Julian
Swin got past him.
Yeah, Julian's not
So
passing.
Danny on the outside of Bance now. Bance should not fight this, and he doesn't.
And now Iceman is the next one to get that place. So Vance down in P5. One pit stop down on everyone, but maybe a safety car. I mean, the safety car would do him really, would do him an amazing service now.
Yeah.
So Danny Ko surely will get himself into P2. Wow didn't really lose any time, but Copy certainly did. And he's in a net P4 after having been in P2 in this old
Yeah, it's
race.
Danny looking to make on the inside, actually. Well, the inside on the straight of Light Cruiser. He gets that done very easily. Unless Icewind's going to have a go at Light Cruiser here as well.
Oh, Danny!
Danny spun!
And that's
Light Cruiser went
Iceman's-
into him.
It's
Light
Iceman's
Cruiser.
front wing. Iceman's front wing. His
Yeah.
right end plate is gone, and that is tragic for him. I don't know what happened to Danny there. Maybe he overshot it, but that has given him front damage, and that is quite a problem. And look at the traffic jam here, as Julian can almost reach Copy with his bare hands from here, and he's
Sorry, I actually said wow about wow without noticing.
Oh, Icewind! Well, Icewind has kind of given
Yeah.
that up. He's going to drive into the pits hoping for a safety
I
car.
know it probably retire knowing Icewind.
Yeah, well, Copy is now going to make it stick on Light Cruiser, I'm sure, and if he doesn't, then Julian will, and he does strike early enough, but Julian also goes side by side. Is this 3 wide? It's only 2 wide for Julian Light Cruiser.
It was, and it's calmed down a bit for now. But Julian right on the back of his championship rival.
Copy's had a bad line, I think. Julian is so close! And Light Cruiser crashes into Julian, but Julian's car didn't feel any of that. What was that all about? Oh, nice rejoin, amazing!
No!
Triton!
He's gone into Triton, he's causing collisions, and the Haas gets past Fox, but
And Triton's gonna kill himself
Triton
there.
was not happy with that. He's just gone straight into the wall.
Oh my god, he must be absolutely fuming, and rightfully so, and if he causes a safety car with this, I'm afraid it's his
Well,
fault.
he's retired his car. What's this? Julian and Copy. Julian got past Copy on the back straight.
Oh! NJJ! Almost getting collected here by a retired car from Triton. So, it's not a safety car, actually. So, lucky
Good game.
for him, but still, no, I mean, it's fine. But
7.3 ahead for WoW. How does he make all
wait,
that?
how is Julian ahead of Copy? Wait, what?
I said Julian got past
Oh.
Copy on the back straight whilst Triton was crashing.
Alright. I needed to tell people the legend, the tragedy of Darth Diocles the Wise. That's what was happening there.
7.7. 8. How is WoW pulling away so much? He's got the fresher tyres than Danny, but he's going to win this unless he makes a mistake or there's a safety car.
Yeah,
No
I mean-
question, really.
and I mean,
Look, what? 8.4. He's just extended by 8.5 now. He's extended by 6. Mate, that's 7 tenths in the first sector. So
yeah, blistering pace from him.
he's dominant.
If we can deliver that sort of pace from the start of next season, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he's going to be easy to stop. Because I mean, the champion of this season will obviously be either Copy or or Julian, but next season is still in the air, and I think Wow will be a really strong contender if he shows up consistently, if he puts in consistent performances. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, this grid is set up to bring us a very close championship battle with all the very fast guys, all capable of winning a championship. So it's just mistakes here and then that cost them.
Is going to be passed by Justin, who's doing really well and might actually score points. Oh, never mind, he's been passed by Jason, sorry. But still, Justin's doing really well nonetheless. Maybe scoring his first tier 1 points, which is quite an achievement for a driver who's been running 3 different kinds of assists only 3 weeks ago.
Chief is at the front of this tray now as well, so maybe another opportunity for Justin to make up a position in this race.
I think Wow is like setting like low to mid 35s. That's insane pace. I'm actually gonna check this lap. 35.3, yeah. And his PB is a 35 flat on mediums. That is unreal. It's doing so well. I know that he was in the fight for winning this in the EGL tournament. I actually don't know if he did. Or didn't some idiot win that? I don't know.
I can't remember.
But no, I think Wow was taken out of contention after an incident, but he was really quick there. I knew that. But I really didn't expect it to go even remotely this far. So.
Didn't copy. They had. Oh, never mind. Justin going up the inside of Ocean Chief.
What happened?
In the pit lane.
Oh, okay. So he's just retired.
I was saying about EGL. I think it was Copy had an incident with it. Was it with Wow on the final corner, and they let him back through? Is that not correct? I thought that's what happened.
Was it Copy? I don't know.
Yeah, Copy was involved.
I think I remember an incident, but I thought it was like Corsa and I don't know. Well, I guess I have to rewatch the EGL tournament to find out. It was a good one, so it's not a shame. Fox is on the back of Vance, and Vance has been out on these mediums for 13 laps, so there's not much of a fight to be put up. And Fox proves himself a worthy addition to the tier 3. What the hell am I talking? Tier 1 roster. Jason?
Yeah, he did get past. He did get past, but he locked up, so Ocean got back past again.
Oh, that's not a line! What are you doing? Ocean just...
Did he push Chief into the wall?
No, he didn't. Chief just...
Did he?
No, he didn't.
I'm asking.
He did not. He did not. No, it was really weird. I mean, Ocean Chief kind of took...
Well, he's probably trying to secure his P10, to be honest.
To be honest, yeah. But Ocean Chief took the Timo approach. Icewind? Okay, I thought he had died there.
We're nearly 2 alphas doing the same thing.
Not quite, but Icewind dives down the inside of Tipsy, and that's a routine move for the Finn. He's not so much flying today as he would probably like to. And goes through the S's ahead of the winner of Tipsy. But what I was gonna say, Ocean Chief took my approach. He left like 5 car widths of space to Jason there, and when the track tightened up to like 3 car widths of space, Ocean decided he would keep the 5 car widths and just drive off track. That's what happened. and it was very entertaining, and I have no clue what happened. But that was fun. So Iceman is actually probably going to have to take that P10 away from the Chief. By the looks of things, he's 3 seconds behind his teammate, and his tires are 10 laps newer. Also, he is a very, very fast driver, so I imagine he's going to be able to close that quite soon, and then go for a move.
Joris is looking up the back of Copy as well.
Yeah, I wonder what's happened to Copy. He's as Julian has apparently finally learned how to drive this track. Copy has been going in the opposite direction. Ever after that undercut that Icewind and Danny pulled off on him, he has looked a little bit slow. Well, that is still relative. I mean, he is still very quick, but just in comparison to the drivers around him. So I wonder if Pretorius is gonna come past Copy here. Right now it looks like Copy is setting himself, or rather Julian is setting himself up for an absolutely dominant position in Brazil. Of course I remember season 2, and Iceman has made the move on Ocean Chief, and that is P10 to the Finn. Anyway, so Copy has basically come out of nowhere in that championship decided at the end of season 2. I don't think he's led the championship at any point. It was, it looked like it was always gonna be Astro Boys versus Get Owned, and then both of them basically crashed in Brazil, and Copy was just the guy to be there and took the championship. But I think this time it's going to be harder, as it will probably be outside of the 25-point range come the final race, unless he's able to pull off a masterful drive in Brazil and Julian gets into some sort of incident like Get Owned and what's his name? Astro did in season 2. It's going to be interesting to see, but for now Julian is definitely doing everything he needs to do if he wants an easy championship decider next time out in Interlagos.
Or unless you're raggy, it's Get Owned.
Hmm?
If you're raggy, then it's Get Owned.
Get owned.
Get Owned.
Get owned.
Good old northern British accent.
Oh, I'm not gonna get it. I can't even do German accents. I'm not gonna try and make British ones. I mean, I literally live in Bavaria and I'm incapable of speaking Bavarian.
Who is this? This is Max and NJJ giving us a bit of action.
Yeah, so I think they've been trading positions multiple times. I just didn't get it on camera. So they are fighting for P14 here. I mean, even if you're probably not going to get points, might as well have some fun. And it looks like they are doing that. NJJ and Fresh Mediums. Max spills on hards, and I was really close to being a collision actually. So now he's going to line the Frenchman up for a pass on the straight. Even though his exit wasn't amazing, the slipstream, DRS and ERS are going to help him. And I think this is going to be a routine move. He goes down the inside, and there's nothing Max Spiltz in the Toro Rosso can do, and JJ doesn't leave him much breathing room on the outside, and it is a move done. Ocean Chief pits for some reason. Oh, right, he hadn't pit before, I didn't know. Well, so he goes down in P2, into P13, and actually I wonder when Bance will pit, because he's been out on softs for 10 seconds, for 17 laps now, and he has not been in the pits, so... Now I... Today I've gone through my YouTube channel's archive, so to speak, and I saw the Coda race of 2-0 last season. and I noticed that I had incredible steering lock, which is also why my time I set on softs in lap 20 was as quick as my time I set on hards this race, like on Thursday in lap 10, were basically equally quick, and I realized that my steering lock was incredibly high back then. When Benz responded, that he feels like he is guilty of that as well. And it was quite interesting. The steering lock into the slow corner before the back straight was indeed quite high. Definitely not as terrible as whatever I was doing back then is, but also probably not as smooth as it can be. So maybe the suspicion is right. Goes into the pits now this lap, and it's probably gonna put in around where Bryce Evolution is, I would have guessed.
Georgia's still on the back of copy. Not really looking to make an intentional move.
The copy's actually...
This train is sort of developing behind Danny, isn't it?
The copy's also still kind of holding on to Julian. But Julian seems to be capable of holding the gap at 1.1 seconds at any point. And I wonder if that's like calculated, because if someone was that close behind me, I would push, because I don't want to get past. There's yellows in sector 3. I do not see who that is, so it's okay, it's nothing.
NJJ. He got passed again by Max.
Oh dear, probably not on track then.
Sorry, bounce on Bryce. Guess that move done relatively easily into the hairpin.
I mean, Benz is, in all likelihood, only for some points, because he's got very fresh softs. But, I mean, the softs are probably gonna be kind of useless 4 laps from the end race. They will gain a tire there, and they will try to kill him with the understeer induced by the heat in the front tires. So I wonder if he's actually gonna get P9 here. I mean, P9 is good. Oh no, he's actually not gonna get P9 because the gap was 10 seconds between Tipsy and Iceman. I think Benz is just on for P10, and after the qualifying, he's probably gonna be like at least kind of satisfied with that. I'm sure he would have wanted more, but probably didn't practice, so not a disaster.
Pretorius would have been able to get copy there, but he reduced his ERS deployment, so it doesn't look like he's being intentional with the overtake at the minute.
You know what I want to see? A safety car.
Iason going down the inside of Justin.
And he's got that move done. But for now, but he goes way too deep, so Justin actually gets himself back into P7. Oh, Julian with a penalty! That's gonna cost him like 2 positions. It's actually gonna bring Copy back into the podium. It's really easy to do that here. Can you actually, could you please check warnings for like the top 5? Well, I mean, I know Julian has 3 warnings now, but...
Wow has 1 warning. Danny has 2. Julian's got a penalty and 1 warning. Prix has 1 warning. And Pretorius has nothing.
I mean, if there's only one thing Wow failed to do in this race, and that is find the difficulty slider, as he's 15 seconds clear of Danico, who is himself really quick. So absolute blistering performance by him, one of the most dominant drivers of the entire season, and it makes me a little bit sad about the fact that he is not going to be able to fight for this championship, as the moment, I mean, the races he did deliver, he delivered really well. He has had his mistakes, and he's also had some no-show races, but now with all the corona going on and him being able to drive like every race, he's been really outstanding.
Yeah. Bance got his P10 past Tipsy. he's done that. Yeah, and Pretorius is still behind Copy. He's I think he's just trying to wait so he doesn't get re-overtaken. I don't know, but I would go for the chances when I get them. But what do I know?
Well, I mean, you're a point scorer now, so I would listen to you.
Okay. Jensen's saying he lied a bit about how much he gains to the cars in front to keep him motivated. I do that when I'm engineering as well.
To who? Who is he lying to?
Naming no names. Probably Chief and Icewind.
You think Jensen's race engineering for them?
Yeah.
I guess. Well, normally Wimpy does that, doesn't he?
Let me have a look. Yeah, he's in voice chat with Ice and Wimpy and Chief.
After some moments, Ice will ask himself, can't you do maths? Am I blind? Is my game bugged? I just never race engineer for people. That's probably fun. But then again, I'm already overloaded with having 2 F1 races every week and then commentating too, so I don't need to race engineer for more.
You literally, you only tell them when they've gained on the car ahead. So you're like 5.4, and then it goes up to 5.7. You don't say anything. Then it goes down to 5.3, and you say 5.3.
Jason has made the move on Justin. They've been fighting for quite some time now, and it looks like the move is done finally. And that was really needed because Icewind has caught the back of the train. I believe Jason's going to drop to the end of that train because he's got penalties more than the others anyways. I think Icewind also has one. I don't know about Justin. But as a matter of fact, I imagine that Icewind will be able to slice through this little battle group, and I'm excited to see it because he is probably quicker than those drivers. He just needs to show them. The gap between Copy and Julian is still 1.1. I mean, if you were race engineering for Copy right now, you would wonder if you'd fallen asleep because you wouldn't have told him anything in ages. The gap remains
Yeah,
static.
it's interesting.
It really is. I just don't see a reason why Julian wouldn't push as fast as he can. Well, Justin goes defensive, but Iceland shows himself on the inside, but he's still going to keep that DRS by slotting in behind. Even though that run onto the straight wasn't amazing, and Justin also gets DRS, so maybe Iceland has outdone himself here a little bit. The slipstream kicks and Justin does not have anything to defend. He goes down the inside. Iceman will try to brake later, but looks like Justin gets to defend for now. Maybe with a cheeky lunge into this corner. Oh, he made contact! And Iceman almost is sent into a spin. And actually, Yannico makes a mistake and gets a penalty, and that could actually be P2 for Copy in the end.
Yeah, good result for Pretorius maybe as well for the podium.
Yeah, he's on for 1 right now, even though it's really close to being outside of the 3 seconds window for Danico. It all depends on what he's going to do from now, and Iceman finds himself in that difficult situation of having to pass a driver that has another driver ahead of him, so DRS is not a thing, practically speaking. You just gain on the car leading the train, but you can't get yourself into the middle if you can't get past the car ahead of you. So Iceman in a little bit of trouble, and I wonder how he's going to manage it. Oh, never mind, it was NJJ who got put out in there. But it was Iceman for a second because it went well off track in that corner. And actually, yeah, Pretorius is really close to Copy. I think he is basically close to striking soon. Blue flag ignored for NJJ. Wow, it's a weird penalty to get.
This with WoW.
Especially unneeded because he is ghosted, so you can just like slow down. It's well, I don't know. He didn't do it. Copy has got like 50% of battery, And Pretorius has got roughly 10 to 15% more than him. Percentage points, actually. So, I think that is not game-changing, but he's probably got the resources to attack if his pace is enough. And throughout this race, it looked like it was just enough. He's running out of time. He needs to do it soon. And they both need to do it without losing much time if they want to get Danico. They are most likely going to get Julian, so Julian's likely to finish in P5 in this race. But copying Pretorius, Pretorius by overtaking Copy and then losing time might actually just stay in P3 if both of them lose time in the process. Jason gets a penalty, another one. And Iceman has still failed to negotiate with the Toro Rosso and the Red Bull racing car ahead of himself. But this time he's closer than ever, and I think he's gonna go for a lunge. But if this game's... Oh no, he goes off! Woo, but he's alive! Woo! Holy crap. That was something else. Well, that's not exactly the kind of bad run I was insinuating he might get, but it is also a bad run, you can say that. Copy gets a little bit wide in the second to last corner, which you can do, and I think maybe Pretorius is now close enough. He's not even turning his battery up.
Wow's just got his first penalty.
Oh no.
I'm not sure it's too relevant though, because...
Really? Huh. That's sad. Well, it looks less stylish on the timetable. Oh, Iceman getting quite frustrated here. And I think so far Justin has driven really clean. I mean, there were some memes going around at the start of the season. It was being a little bit of a wrecking ball in 2 SRO. But since then he has absolutely proven that he's capable of driving clean races, and quite consistently actually. He's been doing really well, and he's also for that reason won the Tier 2 championship in 2 SRO. And he's proving himself in Tier 1 right now, I think.
Pretorius
I would be really
looking to have a go here at Copy.
And
he's going to send it.
This is going to be it. Move for provisional P2 if the gap to Danico holds. And they are still side by side. That's surely going to lose both of them time. Copy and Pretorius for P3 now. And they're still running side by side. The championship contender keeps himself ahead of the Mercedes. And that costs both of them time. Let's actually check the gap to Danico. And that is 2 seconds. No, wait. Am I stupid? Yes, I am. I was looking at the gap to Julian. It's more than 2. It's 3. Yeah, they are now outside of the range. So Julian, Danny is still got to finish in P2 here, no matter the penalty. And Copy and Pretorius are just fighting within their own ranks. Who's going to get P3? Who's going to get P4?
It's not over 3 seconds, though, is it? From Copy.
Copy doesn't have a penalty, though, does he?
I know. Danny does. So Copy will still get Danny.
No, he's not within 3 seconds.
With the gaps at the moment, yes, he is.
Oh, he is. Okay, yeah, I thought for the moment he dropped him. Maybe he did. But that's what I mean. If Pretorius costs both of them time, all he does is not gain a position, but just knock Copy out of P2. So Copy is in the hot seat right now. He knows it would be important for him if he can finish P2 with Julian way down the order from that. So it would be 8 points gained in the championship. And
Tipsy and Bryce going side by side in the S's.
Oh, that's always dangerous, but Tipsy looks like he thinks better of it and gives the American the space in his home race. Actually, just realized American driving in America in a Haas. That's almost like Willy. We've got ourselves some yellows.
That's the
Red
Bull, is it NJJ?
NJJ.
Icewind getting past Justin.
Sick drift, bro. And Icewind has indeed done it. He's got one more lap to get past Jason, but I don't think he needs it. I think he's got it on penalties. But I also think Justin might have him on penalty, so it doesn't really matter. And Copy and Danico. It looks like Copy is staying close enough, even though Pretorius is really heating, is really putting the pressure on, is really making Copy uncomfortable. But I think Danico is struggling just a little bit up there, and it is actually 2.5 seconds between them, and that is just not enough. But if Copy should lose a lot of time at the position to Pretorius, he would go from P2 to P4. And that's a gap of 6 points. That could matter a lot. So Pretorius goes for his last move of this race. Or, oh wait, never mind. He's not? Wait. Oh, he does.
Yes.
It is the last lap of the
He's going
race.
up the inside.
Oh, and it's going to be on the brakes, but he doesn't look 100% committed, so he allows Copy to lose little time while carrying the speed, and he keeps ahead, and I doubt Pretorius is going to be able to get past, and wow, just finishes that race 20 seconds earlier than anyone else. And that was a very well-deserved victory. That was like that was almost reminiscent of the times when Ethnic TRN would drive here. Iceman just made it past Jason, and Danico gets himself a P2, but only for now. Julian and Tim both have penalties, and Copy's gonna jump them, and it is P2. And an amazing podium for Pretorius as well. Julian is in P5. Copy gains 8 points on him in the championship, and that definitely carries the championship into the next round, and we might get this season finale in Abu Dhabi with a championship decider if it goes well for Copy next time out. But
Yeah.
I think
A dominant win there from WoW.
yeah, and actually Justin had penalties. I wasn't aware of that. So Iceman gets to keep P7. Okay, his recovery drive. I'm sure he will not be happy with that, but he did well to recover from the damage he took. There was not really his fault. I think it was Danny who got sideways, and so
Yeah.
I mean, if you take the extra pit stop away and then the time he lost behind other drivers, I'm sure he would have been like very close to the train up ahead, which he was previously running in. So that's unfortunate for him. But what can you do?
So, give Copy a little bit of hope, but it's still going to be a very long shot to win this championship, but it's definitely more possible than it was before.
Yeah, what was the gap again? 31?
31, so now it will be 23.
23, yeah. So, and so Julie needs to outscore Copy by 3 points, which essentially means finish ahead of him in the top 4. That is the championship.
Isn't it 5 points, because you can get 26 points on the last round for fastest lap?
You can, but we're on 23, and I'm pretty sure Julian wins the tiebreaker. So if he outscores him by 3 points, he has got a gap of
Oh yes, yeah, okay.
26, so that would be the championship done. Also, Bans gets a point for his efforts. Jason did reasonably well on that recovery on that comeback. Just the penalties in the end. Also, Fox has had a lot of penalties, but he was driving in an absolute vacuum, so it didn't matter. Good drive from him, though. P6. Well done. So we're gonna go on over to the interviews, and so if you want to be interviewed, move yourself into the Gentleman's Lounge on the SLR Discord server. We've got ourselves the first driver in there, but okay, he's unmuted himself, and he is not. He didn't flee yet, so I guess it's his loss. We're going to bring in Justin. Talked a lot to him in the past in the post-race lobbies at 2SRL, because of course he's won a lot there. But actually don't think I've properly talked to him here in SLR, and it is a worthy occasion because he scored his first points in Tier 1, and let's bring him in. So you are now on stream, Mr. Justin. So I think 4 weeks ago or something, you were like driving with 3 different sorts of assists, and then today you score your first points in SLR Tier 1. And how does that feel?
It feels great. Like good battling, good everything. It's a shame that I got that extra 3-second time penalty in the end. But either or, I'm really happy with the points finish, especially in tier 1 with no assists. And like you said, was running practically every assist in the book a few weeks ago, and it feels good. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely be proud of that. How did the like, how was the fighting? I think you were in the battle group with Jason for like all race, and then at the end Icewind came. I think you were holding your own really well. How did the battle go from your perspective?
Icewind, I knew him even before this race that he was really quick. And I knew once I saw him on the minimap getting closer and closer, I was like, okay, once he comes, he's going to ruin the fun for myself and Yasin. I'm really surprised with myself that I managed to hold him off of it and have a battle with him and actually stay in front. Because if you were to say my situation, being in assist a few weeks ago and going against one of the best tier 1 drivers, you'd expect me to be easily overtaken, but I'm really happy it wasn't the case, and you got to get some good footage for the stream, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of that. It was probably the most active fight on the whole grid at that point. So, are there, like, I mean, you've recently jumped to the no assist, and I've talked about it multiple times in multiple interviews. But, I mean, today's performance indicates that you're doing really well on it. Is it there still, like, something that you're struggling with? Is it, like, the line, or ABS, TC, do you still lock up, lose traction, or is it just that it just feels really natural to not have the assists on board? Is it already gone into muscle memory?
Yeah, the traction control and ABS, it feels perfectly fine. It's just the line because, I've spent 2 seasons in F1 2019 with line, so now having to learn all the tracks off by heart again, it does help. But with the assists, I guess when I turned them off, it unleashed a beast inside of me that was meant to be with no assists. And yeah, practice makes perfect, I guess.
That leads perfectly over into the last question, which is also about assists, because of course we've got 3 tiers that are all full of assist runners, and we've got that one tier with no assist, and now you've made the jump in like such short time, and I'm sure there's multiple drivers out there who would probably like to try and find the beast within themselves like you did there.
Yeah.
So if, and especially with the new game coming out, a lot of people, I know I did that in the past, and I think you all originally planned to do the same, are thinking like, I'm going to drive this game with assists, and then the next one I'm going to just drop them. Do you have maybe any advice for them, like how, like if you wanted to tell someone how to get used to no assists and be quick, what would you tell them? How did you do it?
Well, for me, like you said, I said I would finish the season with assists and then go on next season with without assists and learn then. But I think it was a really stupid idea for me back then because you start off strong in F1 2020. You don't have to restart from scratch, I guess, and having to learn the assists then at the start of the season when you could be well on top, like myself, not to brag, but So to those wanting to learn without assists and saying, "Oh, start F1 2020," don't start now, so like that you can get ahead, even on yourself, so like that you don't have to worry about it later. Like, oh yeah, F1 2020 is coming out, but I need to learn with no assists now. Then in my case, it's F1 2020. I know how to run without assists. Now it's just learning the tracks. So yeah.
What do you think is the optimal order to drop them? Like,
or
just all at once?
Well, in my case, what I did is I dropped both traction control and ABS at the same time, which I did end up to regret. I did start with no traction control, then ABS, and then line, because it's just easier than with ABS traction control, because if you like lock up and then out of a corner, it could just be very uncomfortable. Then I guess if you already know how to feather the throttle and master traction control. So yeah, like that, traction control, ABS, line.
Okay. So, thanks for the responses. So if you're a tier 2 driver and you're watching, or a tier 3 or 4 driver, and you want to get rid of assists, take this as as a little bit of a nudge in the direction. It has certainly worked out for Justin, and thanks for talking to us. And I'll move you into the gentleman's lounge. You can tell Wow that he's coming in next, so he's not mid-sentence. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
So that was Justin, as he... Okay, wait, he didn't. Well, then I'm probably gonna grab Wow mid-sentence. He's not talking. Perfect. Hello,
For
you
once.
there? Yeah. I told Justin to warn you, but he didn't. So, so where's the difficulty slider?
I just turned it down a bit, I guess.
Will you drive on 100% next race again, or I'd like?
I drive on 110, hopefully. Being legend mode. Nah.
Well, today is probably totally worthy of it. So, I mean, what was that? Is your pace at Coda just godlike, or were you surprised that the others couldn't keep up? Is it one of your best tracks, or what was that?
Actually, I already told it someone. It's not. Like, my best tracks are where I won, basically, like Spain, Bahrain, where I was close to winning. Singapore, Hungary, such tracks, but not Coda, and I wasn't looking forward to Coda, to be honest.
That is really surprising because, I mean, that was probably one of the most dominant drives of the entire season. So, I guess.
I think I just out-practiced them by a mile or more, found.
How much preparation did you do?
Yeah. I did like 40 laps on TT to find the right setup, and actually I found two pretty good setups, and then I tested them in Grand Prix mode, where I did half the length to find out my how much fuel I would take, how my ERS usage is, and tire wear. So yeah, pretty much. If you count it together, like 80 laps, a bit less, I'd say 70, around that, yeah.
Well, it was certainly enough of an advantage to absolutely dominate the grid today. It's a little bit of a shame that you're not in that championship fight anymore. So
yeah.
Do you think, like, I mean, next season on the new game, do you think you will be able to put the time and like commit to a full season and maybe try and take the crown next time? Or
pretty confident in that. Yeah. I definitely try.
So you'll so you will actually like do the full season?
Yeah, sure. I'll try. Like if there's something on that Saturday where I can't show up, like family birthday or something, then of course I can't. But I will try to come to every race and. Yeah, try to win every race.
Well, that's great to hear. I mean, your win rate this season has been quite outstanding and added one of the most dominant ones to that today. I just asked because I felt like your amount of DNS has held you back in that championship quite a bit. I think, yeah, you didn't show up 4 times, which is more than the others in the top 5 even. So. Next season is going to be interesting, and I wish you the best of luck, and let's hope that someone is going to come close next week in Brazil, because if not, then that's going to be another 20-second victory, which...
I guess so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for you it would be great, of course.
No, I think someone's going to be closer next time.
Okay, so yeah, thanks for talking to us, and...
no problem.
See you later. Have a nice evening.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Well, I mean, considering Jensen and Astro didn't drive, the logical choice is Julian, so we're gonna drag him.
Yes, I was in mid-sentence. Hello.
Woo! Yeah. I waited 3 seconds after I moved WoW in the hope that you would not talk. Well,
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's like 2 factors to this race for you, and that is like kind of that P5 is probably not what you wanted, but then again that P5 and copy not winning is probably enough for you in the championship to still not be dissatisfied with that. Am I right in that assumption?
I guess. I mean, I said it in the beginning of the stream, like at first, I'm gonna be honest, I thought that it was gonna be a little bit easier, not much easier to get a good result. I mean, I knew that I wasn't gonna win. That's one thing for sure. I was actually doubting if I was gonna get a podium. Maybe P4 was my best, what do you say, goal for tonight, and I didn't get that too. So, but you know, I'm gonna sound a little bit like a PP head, but you know, before this race I was leading with 31 points. Now the gap is 24, 23. One of those.
23.
And with 2 races to go, like if I only have to finish 1 or 2 places behind copy in both races, and then it's done. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I can be pretty confident in that. I think I'm not 100% certain, but I think so. Yeah.
I mean that is true, but I mean, I was quite surprised to see you qualify in P8. Was it just because you binned the last run? Because I mean, I saw you spun in the second to last corner, but do you think that would have changed much that run, or was the pace just not there because you didn't practice properly?
Well, on that last run I made a mistake as a turn 1 already. On my second run I already lost 2 tenths because I had a McLaren in front of me, which I had to slow down a little bit more for, because I think he retired. I wasn't sure if it was going to ghost or not, so I just took the safe way and lifted a little bit. So I lost 2 tenths there, and on the third run I lost 3 tenths again to that corner. So in total I lost like half a second in 1 corner alone. So it was mainly down to that, but had I not done that, I would have made a mistake on the end of the lap. Had I not made a mistake at the end of the lap, I would have still been down on my lap time. So it's, you know, it's really irrelevant what would have happened on that run, because I would have still messed it up. So yeah.
Okay.
The pace just wasn't there tonight because I didn't practice, and yeah, that's totally down to me, obviously. So yeah,
I mean,
looking forward to next week. Brazil, good track.
Don't like Coda?
No. Just no.
You're a true iRacing driver. Well, I think I made that same joke last week talking to you anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't driven code on iRacing yet because I'm completely out of money. I'm just waiting for the end of the month because I'm working a little bit. I'm working actually a little bit more this month.
Just for iRacing?
Yeah, I'm doing about double the hours just so I can afford some iRacing stuff. So
that's perfection, and honestly.
Oh, it's motivation for a really boring and underpaid job. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have some sort of an objective.
Yeah, I mean, working in a supermarket, stocking up stuff, man. Why is it only €4.60 an hour? That's so. That work is actually.
Is that not completely under minimum wage? Do you not have minimum wage in the Netherlands or what?
I don't even know what it is, man. The only thing I care about is if I have enough money to buy iRacing
It's
shit.
like €9 in Germany, but okay, come across the border for some good money.
Yeah, I might when the lockdown is over, because the Netherlands is just really stupid with that kind of shit. I mean, it did go up because I turned 16 last month, 1.5 months ago actually already. Time flies. 16 and still immature. Let's go. But yeah, maybe I should, because about €5 for the. I mean, it's supermarket stuff. I'm 16, so I don't expect to get paid millions, but a little bit more would have been nice. But anyway, yeah.
A last question about the race.
Yes.
Or about the future. No. I mean, wow, was 20 seconds clear of anyone at the end.
Yes,
of the
embarrassing. He literally embarrassed all of us.
I'm just thinking. Because that's the point where I'm like, okay, I'm too bad for this, goodbye. But I'm just wondering, are you looking at that and like being a little bit worried when it comes to, not the end of the season, because you pretty much, I mean, he's not going to stop you from winning the championship in person. So probably not worried for the last 2 races, but if this is the kind of performances he puts up in the next season, are you worried, or like Do you think you could have gone that pace had you grinded?
Nah, even if I practiced, I couldn't touch that. His pace was just phenomenal. So we're not gonna make any dirty words about that because that would just be plain stupid. Because he drove really well today. It was perfection from him. But for next season, I don't know. It's most likely gonna be on the new game, and everyone start from pretty much zero again.
Because the exploits are different. The physics exploits are different.
Yes, but it's gonna be pretty much a new game, so everyone is gonna start from zero. So I mean, I would like to see him up there. I wouldn't like him to win by 20 seconds, but be consistently up there because. Even now he does have the pace, but sometimes not really the consistency. Same with me sometimes. I don't have the consistency to win every race, which Copy does have. So for next season it's going to be close, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, same for me. To be honest, when I asked that question, I was like 99% sure you were gonna be like, if I put in the time, that is probably it would have been close. But that response just makes me more excited for next season. And I hope everyone watching is as well. Thanks for your time in the interview, and good luck next week in Brazil. So
thank you very much.
Gonna move you
I'll see you next week.
Channel. I wonder if Iceman wants an interview. I am not certain if he wants an interview. I'm just gonna quickly ask him. I'm sorry for that. Okay, well we'll bring in Iceman for a little bit. Okay, so the best for last. Hello. You're gonna disagree with that entry statement, but
I'm just gonna do what my old idol Kimi Räikkönen did in 2013 in the Spanish Grand Prix, I think. So happy Mother's Day to all mothers tomorrow, and that's it.
Aww. No interview?
No, that's it.
Well, I hope we have a lot of drivers' mothers watching or something. That's an appreciated message. Well, good luck next week, and have a nice evening.
Thank you. Likewise.
Huh?
Thank you, and likewise.
I will. Well, I want to thank everyone for watching, of course. It's been a good race in my opinion, and I am sure the last two races of this season are not going to disappoint either, because it is Brazil. It's a fan favorite, and Abu Dhabi, while not being a fan favorite, still has some DRS straights you can overtake on, so it's probably not going to be boring either. And make sure to stick around until the end of the season. Tomorrow we're going to drive at Coda into Sorel, and on Monday we're gonna have the Hungaroring with me trying to come 8th or higher to win a championship, actually. So that's exciting. Well, make sure to join us for that, and also thank you for watching this stream. I hope you enjoyed it and you come back in the future. Have a nice evening. Good night.